I think, however, it's time for us to talk about stuff that didn't happen on the track. It happened in the dirt.
Oh, what a transition. Yes, so I ended up watching Supercross this weekend. You had the pleasure of watching a different two-wheel competition. We'll get to that last. But first off, so I watched Supercross this weekend. It was happening in Philadelphia. We had the East Coast, West Coast showdown.
I didn't get when you told me that you really wanted to watch a showdown. When you suggested, hey, you're gonna watch the other series that I'm gonna talk about, and then you're gonna watch Supercross, and you're like, I'm really in the mood of watching a showdown. I had forgotten that it was the East-West showdown until I think I heard something that the commentator said, and I was like, all right, tell me about it.
But yeah, it was a great weekend. I mean, we had last weekend, they were racing in Foxborough, Massachusetts. It was an insanely muddy race last weekend. You watched it. It was quite brutal. So going into this weekend's race, I was excited to see what happens. They were in Philadelphia. However, the race weekend started off very rainy. They ended up having to not being able to do certain practices because it was just too rainy. The track wasn't ready. So it was already kind of going into it like, oh boy, let's see what is going to happen. But they got the track ready, and it was muddy, but it wasn't quite as deep and ruddy as Foxborough. It was definitely slick at points, but it wasn't.
Were they jumping?
Oh yeah. They were jumping. They were going through. They were blitzing the hoops and everything.
Was actual racing.
So it was much more usual racing than it was previously. So we had, of course, in a West Coast or East Coast showdown, we have both coasts combined coming together. So we have the two heats usually for the 250. We have one heat for the 250 East and one heat for the 250 East. So I just want to share a little bit of information about that. Going into it, they were also talking about...
Sorry, you said one heat for the 250 East and one for the 250 West.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes, and then going into it, they were also trying to compare the East Coast boys versus the West Coast boys, which was really funny. So they said... the one side we have the East Coast boys, the ones from last weekend with the crazy mud race. They've had 6 races so far with 6 different winners. So there's like huge drama. Like every time there's somebody else on the top of the podium, which is of course super exciting.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because last weekend, who ended up winning?
It was a gentleman who had won.
Chase Hymas ended up winning. So that was really exciting. And then the West Coast boys, on the other hand, we have different type of drama. We have Julian Beaumer versus Hayden Deegan, on-track rivals. So
off-track rivals.
Yeah, so we have that kind of drama. Yeah. So it's interesting going into it to see how, of course, West Coast versus East Coast measure up. And, of course, if any of those dramas come into this race weekend.
Tom Vialis East Coast.
Tom Vialis East Coast, yes.
Joe Shimoda's West Coast. Yes, because he had the program. Oh, God,
yes. It's a little confusing to me sometimes. But anyway, so first off, we have the 250 West boys. And it was, of course, mostly Julian versus...
Hayden
Deegan. Let me see. I have all these notes here. But Hayden Deegan ended up winning his the heat. It was a pretty... I mean...
Did Beaumer make a mistake or fall or something?
No, he didn't make a mistake. He ended up making it through the heat as well. I mean, it was an exciting. All the heats, all the last chance qualifiers, everything was really, really exciting.
The last chance qualifiers were mixed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll get to that because I'll talk about that very briefly also. And then, so we had, for the 250 West, it was actually Julian Beaumer, Hayden Deegan, and then our 17-year-old New Zealander, Cole Davies. So it was them really going at it against each other. Davies ended up getting the whole shot, but then I believe Hayden Deegan ended up winning the heat race. But it was close because the cool thing was... Cole Davies ended up taking some really interesting lines that everybody else ended up taking. And then there was one moment where he took like the second most inside line, but then Hayden Deegan got into the most inside line. And that's how he ended up getting ahead of Cole Davies for the heat win, which is, of course, a nice win. It's good for confidence also, and also good for lane picking later. So it was a nice way to start off. Then we have the 250 East Coast boys doing their heat. Seth Hamaker, who had won the last East Coast West Coast showdown, he ended up winning this heat. He also got the whole shot, and he was at home, which was really awesome. Fun. Unfortunately, Tom Vial had a horrible heat. So not only, remember in...
Did he fall off the bike?
Well...
Because I heard something, Tom Vial yelling.
Yes.
And that's when I remembered. I was like, fuck, it's a East Coast, West Coast showdown. I forgot. That's when I heard the yelling. I was like, no.
So basically, remember last weekend, he was having quite the hard time in the mud. He ended up coming in dead last. So that really hurt his chances for the championship.
Where's he from again? Tom Vial is French, or is he Spanish?
I thought he was Spanish.
Yeah, it was like they don't have mud over there. That's why he's...
I don't know about that. But ended up, he had a good start to the heat, but then he came in too far left when he was doing some air, and then he got off the track, and then later on he got off the track again. So that kind of just was like, it got him out of contention.
Like last lap too, where he got stuck, or was that Chase?
Last weekend? Yeah. No, it was like, it was just so heartbreaking. Then, so Vial had to ended up going into the last chance qualifiers, which was, it's so tricky because, like you said, you have then guys from the East and the West Coast in the one single last chance qualifier. You only have you have only 4 open lanes for the main event. So it's high stakes. But he ended up making it through the last chance qualifier. He didn't end up winning the last.
He top 4,
but
so that's all you need.
Yeah. He needed to make it through. He had a great start because he had the most outer lane, which is a tricky lane sometimes to start from. But he was smart. He ended up holding back a little bit because it gets, of course, very crowded in the front. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle as per usual, and he was able to go around it, and then he had a nice race. There was a really fun battle towards the end as well between Hardy Munoz and Nice. They were fighting for the last slot in the last chance qualifier.
And Tom Vial, he trains with Chase Sexton, right? They're on the same team, just 250 and 450.
Maybe.
I think they are. Yeah.
I don't. He's on a KTM, so that's probably true. But so it was a really overall some great heat races, great last chance qualifier. Then for the 450 heats, of course we had the 2 heats with the regular dudes. The first heat saw Cooper Webb, our championship leader right now, versus Aaron Plessinger, who's been doing really excellently.
The champion of hearts.
Yes, indeed. And he ended up winning his heat, which was so really fun because the two of them had some really nice battles on track.
Awesome. Oh, good. That's good that Aaron was able to take over that good confidence and
keeping
good
the momentum,
keep the momentum
going, which is really nice. And then also a new, or for us new, but a returning face on the track is Dean Wilson.
Okay.
He's stepping in for the Lawrence brothers essentially. So he's in their Honda HRC Progressive team. The goal, from what I gathered, is mostly for him to gather data on the bike while the brothers are out injured.
Crazy that both of them are out.
So they don't have a lot of expectations for him. He's a Scottish driver. He's been part of Supercross before, but he did really well. He ended up coming in 6th in his heat, which is really nice, and he did quite decent in the main race as well. Then for the 450 heat 2, it was another Cooper. It was a Justin Cooper versus Chase Sexton. Really, that was, I feel like, for me, what the heat was all about.
Justin ended up winning it?
No. Chase Sexton ended up winning it. So both KTMs won the heat. So Aaron Plessinger won his heat. Chase Sexton won his heat. And it was really close between Justin Cooper and Chase Sexton because they were back to back constantly. And then Justin Cooper got blocked by a lapper unintentionally because the lapper, they were going around a turn, and the lapper kind of, the bike got stuck or something, and he was literally in the same rut.
Oh, gosh.
So it was just, and then Chase happened to be on the outside, and so he was able to go around it, and it's like, it is what it is.
Okay, because I remember hearing Justin Cooper or something like that, and I thought maybe it meant he he won, but it clearly meant that he got stuck.
Yeah, no, he unfortunately got stuck. But yeah, so do you want to hear about the 250 main race first? The showdown? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we have all the main guys from both. So there was no, I dare I say, no major surprises about who was in the main event. It was the main guys from the East Coast versus the main guys from the West Coast. Would you want to guess who won this East Coast West Coast showdown?
Okay, can you tell me if it's an East Coast or West Coast boy? Is it East Coast boy? It's an East Coast boy. Is it Tom? Okay, it's not Tom. Okay, wait. Oh no. Oh, then wait. Is it RJ?
No. He no.
Okay, now here's the thing. Now it comes down to, will I remember who's on the East Coast and who's on the West Coast?
Yes.
So I know it's not Hayden.
Or actually, sorry. It is a West Coast boy.
Okay, well,
my
so
apologies.
you immediately lied to me. It's not Joe, is it?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that would be even better.
Okay, so then it's not Hayden, and it's not Bomer.
No.
Julian. So then, is it Max Anstey?
No.
Is he East Coast? You see, there we go.
See, it's already confusing.
Just tell me. I'm not going to guess it.
All right, so let me just start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So right at the beginning, the start, Hammaker gets the whole shot.
He's East Coast.
He is East Coast, yes. Then RJ Hampshire and Cody Schock clash together. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle, of course, right at the beginning, first turn.
Yeah.
However, then unfortunately, we have an accident that happens on the track, red flagging the race.
First lap?
Literally first lap.
So does that mean a restart, or is it
so
single file?
because they haven't completed three
laps.
The race leaders haven't completed 3 laps yet. They're doing a complete restart. Time is completely resetting. So Daxton Bernice, is that did I write the name down correctly? Daxton for sure. He went down really hard. I didn't even see his accident, but the medical team came out. They put him on a backboard and they took him off the track. I believe he went to the hospital. Last I had checked, I hadn't found any updates about his status, but he wasn't doing too well. So that's why they red flagged and restarted the complete race, which ended up working for RJ because his start was so much better. He ended up getting the whole shot, which was exciting. Going from crashing with Cody Schock to getting the whole shot, which is an excellent restart for him.
Absolutely.
Hayden Deegan had a decent start. He made it through the crowds. However, he made a couple mistakes. And then the overall winner is the young 17-year-old Kiwi, Cole Davies. Yes. Back-to-back wins for him. He ended up winning.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm happy.
Yes.
I'm actually really, really happy about it. That's really awesome.
Yeah, so Cole Davies ended up coming in first. Hayden Deegan came in second. And then RJ Hampshire came in third. Part of me was rooting a little bit for Seth Hammaker just because it was a home race for him.
Yeah, of course.
So obviously,
where did he finish?
He ended up in fourth.
Okay. Missed the podium.
Yeah, Joe Shimoda came in fifth.
Oh, nice.
Tom Vial in sixth. And then, So that was.
Can you tell me the top 3 again? I was yelling.
Cole Davies, Hayden Deegan, and then RJ Hampshire.
Okay. Oh, where's Julian at?
Julian Bauer came in 12th. Honestly, I don't remember seeing much of his race.
Probably got caught up in the sauce or something.
Yeah. So that was a really, really fun East Coast, West Coast showdown, especially also, of course, because the restart, of course, makes things exciting, extra exciting. Of course, it's heartbreaking for Daxton that he got hurt, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But it was still a very fun race. There was one moment that was like a little where Deegan almost T-boned Seth Hammaker when he was going into the turn. I think it was definitely a mistake from Deegan. He was getting in with quite a bit of momentum, but I don't think it was intentionally quite as harsh as he ended up not T-boning him, but it definitely they got caught up a little bit. But then going into the 450 main race, Chase Sexton was fastest in quali. He had won his heat race, so he was feeling really confident. Even in his post heat race interview, he was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling good," and it was not like a cocky, but it just, you could sense he was doing really well. So I was curious to see if it could hold up because the 450 guys are really strong.
Yeah.
Cooper Webb, of course, he's been there.
menace.
He's been there.
A menace to Kenny last weekend.
I know. So basically, the start was really interesting. Suddenly, Barsha was leading the pack.
Justin Barsha?
Yeah, and he had a great pace. But however, unfortunately, pretty early on, he got off track. It was just like some silliness where he left the track. So Ken Roxon ended up inheriting the lead. He had a great pace. He ended up riding out a 4-second lead. And I was like, oh my gosh.
No, he fell.
No. He ended up not falling, but he just ended up, I don't know, losing some of his pace. Chase Sexton came.
Chase!
And first it was Chase and Cooper Webb were battling quite a bit. But they had really decent pace. So first Chase passed Kenny, then Cooper Webb passed Kenny.
Oh, God.
But that was the podium.
Kenny came third?
Yes.
Oh, I'm happy. I think it's probably towards the end. It's like, I don't know if his shoulders probably hurts more.
Well, it's his shoulder is hanging by a thread. His ankle is not doing well.
Kenny, get that, what is it, BioWare, like implants, bionic shoulders.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
But I'm happy that Kenny at least made it onto the podium this weekend.
And in fourth was
was it Aaron? Malcolm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Malcolm ended up coming in fourth, which was also his brother had even said, like, this is a track that really lends itself to Malcolm. So he might do well. And he did well. He ended up coming in fourth, which was really, really nice. So, yeah, so we have Chase Sexton first, Cooper Webb second.
That's awesome.
Ken in third, and fourth we had Malcolm Stewart, which is really, really nice. Aaron, unfortunately, didn't do quite as well. He ended up coming in eighth. But I hope that doesn't stop his momentum from keeping on getting all these podiums.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm happy. I'm happy to see Kenny finally on the podium
yes.
again. Can you tell me, do you have the overall standings for at least a 450?
I don't.
I put you on the spot, didn't I?
That's okay.
But I'm glad you drew that Malcolm, because I know Malcolm got the win in Tampa, and then I think he was like, he wasn't like as much in the front as I would have liked him to be. Like, he's usually top 10, but he wasn't as much in the front. So P4 is actually really awesome. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
So we have for the 450, Cooper Webb is still in the front with 278. Chase Sexton behind with 266. And then Ken Roxon in third with 240.
Yeah,
so Cooper is still leading by quite a bit, and he still does really well. So I'm definitely thinking he's
a strong contender.
He's a very strong contender.
Because I also feel like this year's Supercross season seems to be over much faster. I feel like last year I was like, wow, we have 18 rounds, and the 18 rounds happened like all in the first half of the year.
Yeah, no.
So it seemed like last year it felt much longer, but I know this year I've also missed. Now this is my third event that I've missed. I think I missed both Triple Crowns plus this one now that I didn't watch, but I did watch something else instead.
Yeah.